Hello once again, book lovelies, and welcome back to the Happy Little Book Nook. For those of you who are new to this channel, I am Jen, and we are going to be talking about books. Sometimes we talk about writing, sometimes we talk about book reviews, sometimes we just talk about fangirling, but whatever it is, it's going to be good. Today, I have a book review for you that I'm really excited to talk about because it's from a fellow Bookstagrammer that we all know and love, the YA gal. That would be Jennifer Bardsley, so I will leave her information down below if you haven't checked her out yet. But if you have, you know how amazing she is. She wrote a book called Genesis Girl, which is out now. Definitely go pick it up. I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads, and today we're going to talk about it. A little disclaimer. As always, this video will contain spoilers, so if you haven't read the book yet, or you don't want to be spoiled when you do read it, click out right now and then come back once you've read it. If you're just curious about the book and you don't mind being spoiled, I will try to keep them to a minimum, and I will try to behave myself and not give away too much. Then gladly stick around. If you have read it, please comment down below what your thoughts were on the book, because I'd also love to discuss it with you. And give this video a thumbs up. And if you like the book reviews and you like our funness, hit the subscribe button. But now, out of all the housekeeping stuff is gone, let's get on with the book review for Genesis Girl. So I have chosen to wear all white. I know the book cover is red. For those of you who read it, or are familiar with it, Blanca, who is our main character, is what we call a Vestal, and they only wear white. They're completely pure and all white, and any little bit of color is like I don't know, like epic sin. It is like the world is ending. So I just feel really weird anytime I photograph this book, anytime I talk about this book, not honoring Blanca in some way, shape, or form by wearing white. It's really weird. She's gotten into my head. So Blanca is 18. She is what I said, what they call a Vestal, and the Vestals are this group of individuals who have basically lived secluded away from society. They have no internet trace at all. So in the world that we're in here, everyone is on the internet. Everyone has what they call like fingertips, where they can literally like see like screens and type stuff from their fingers, which is pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. But these people, the Vestals, they have absolutely no history. They're just a blank slate. So imagine for a moment, which you know is extremely hard to believe, that you have never been on the internet. Your parents never took a photo of you. No one ever commented about you. Your school never released information about you. You never joined any Bookstagram groups or any, I mean, there was just nothing. It was like you did not exist at all. And no matter how hard someone tried, they couldn't find a photo of you. They couldn't find any little tidbit about you. That is the world that our dear friend Blanca lives in. And she has grown up in this world at a school called Tabula Rasa, I think is the name. I always say these things wrong. Forgive me. But she grew up at this school. It was a very harsh school. Their methods of getting the students to do things was extremely, like, hard to read about. I was like, oh. Needless to say, that is the world she knows, and that is all she knows. So when she turns 18, she's about to graduate from school, and her plan is to go off and work for a brand, or to live within a brand, if you want to put it that way. Basically, the Vestals, because they are completely blank slates, are able to sell things because they can create whatever life they want for them. So you would go ahead and say, I will bid $1 million on particular Vestal A, and they would come work for your company, live for your company. You would set them up with a fake family, fake girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, and that is their life. They belong to you, they belong to your brand, and they will only do what you or your brand tell them to, and that is all the digital world will know of them. Blanca, our dear friend here, talks often about how she has the face that could sell soap. And I love the way that it's described, because it is so pure and so sweet and so simple. And her goal is to become a soap model, seller, whatever you want to call it. And that all gets thrown out the window. Well, it seems like it does. When a virus, as they call them, gets in and snaps a photo of her. This virus, aka Rex Veritas, or Seth, as we come to find out him here in this book, snapped this photo of her. It was a huge faux pas. And once that got leaked out, she knew her career was over, nobody would ever want her, and she was going to be outcasted from society. Everything she'd ever worked for was over. And the viruses are basically our version of paparazzi. So kind of keep that in mind as we're talking about him. He has his own blog where he posts photos and all this information, and he's constantly like trying to be number one because he is pretty high up there in the rankings. So she's kind of having this panic attack because, oh my gosh, my world is over. Well, the higher-ups at the school decide, hey, it's not your fault. It couldn't be avoided. We're going to take care of this. Graduation day comes, and all her friends get bought out by different, brands, different companies. But Blanca gets the highest bidder, and I think her total was something around like $32 million or something ridiculous. She had the highest amount of money that anybody bid on any of the vessels. And she was going to a private seller, which it's implied but not specified that they probably have other intentions than them selling products, if you know what I mean. And they call it going geisha. So everyone else goes off and does their thing, and she kind of goes off on her own and goes rogue. Well, it turns out that it's a lot different than she thought. So she ends up going to work for Cal McNeil, who's a very wealthy older gentleman, and he turns out to be the father of Seth, our virus that we just met a few moments ago. And he just wants to repair the relationship with his son. That's it. I mean, nothing else. He has no ill intentions for Blanca. He has no weird things going on under the covers or under the whatever. He just wants to repair the relationship with his son. The son that he dearly loves but has been away from for far too long. And so he tells Blanca, hey, if you're cool with that, do whatever needs to be done, and that's all I want from you. So Blanca does whatever she needs to do and starts to repair that relationship. But in the meantime, she's developing feelings for Seth. Seth is developing feelings for Blanca. And to kind of make this whole long synopsis shorter, they basically try to help Blanca come out of her shell and understand that you can think for yourself. Yes, you've been told to take orders. Yes, you have been conditioned to behave a particular way, but think for yourself. What kind of life do you want? What do you want things to be? And it really, really is a cool concept because they talk a lot about this addiction to technology, which, I mean, we're watching YouTube right now. I'm talking to you through a camera. We're kind of addicted, and sometimes it is nice to unplug. Seth, for instance, goes through tech withdrawal when he starts to give up the technology because it's like a drug. And I think we are in that age where we are very addicted to it. When we aren't with it, it is a little tough. I'm not gonna lie. We're like, oh my gosh. So it is an interesting thought to kind of put through your head of what would it be like if you could just totally go off the grid, if you could totally disconnect for a while. Do we need as much technology as we have? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? So that's kind of this idea, but also the fact that we become so dependent on technology where we kind of are letting it tell us what to do. We're letting it dictate our lives. We're letting it make us think we should look a certain way or we should be a certain way, or our Instagram feed should make it look like our life is so fantastic and wonderful. And it really is kind of thinking for us versus us thinking for ourselves. So there is a lot in this book that goes far beyond just a really epic story. It does leave us on a cliffhanger. So I'm super excited. Hopefully the second book comes out soon. Please, Jennifer, please put it out soon. Because I really do want to read the second one and see what happens. Because it definitely left it in some crazy chaos. But if you have not purchased this book yet, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. If you love technology, if you love the interwebs, if you love blogging, vlogging, Instagramming, Snapchatting, you name it, well, this is a story for you. It is like a sci-fi based story, I guess, in the sense of, maybe not sci-fi. It's definitely fantasy. There's just a lot going on in here. Beautiful cover too, by the way. Let's just talk about that. But yeah. So definitely pick up this book. One thing I will share with you guys here. I typed this out somewhere else and I can't find my notes. I'm super bummed. So look for it on my blog because once I find my notes, there'll be some more detail. But in chapter 1, the very first sentence of this book is what made me think, you know what, this is going to be a winner. It says, my boot hits him in the nuts at the same time as the flash goes off, but it's too late. If a book starts out with someone being hit in the nuts, you gotta say, hey, this is top quality book here. I read that and I laughed so hard. And I was like, in my lunchroom at work, and it was like, yep, this book is a winner. And I loved it from the moment that it started all the way up until the end. So definitely read it. I will be posting a blog. I will be posting a blog soon, also just kind of going over this. Like I said, once I find my actual notes, I can dive into it a little bit more. But hopefully you've enjoyed this. Like I said, definitely go out and purchase it because you will not be sorry. It is an awesome book, and it's always amazing to be able to support fellow bookstagrammers like Jennifer. So definitely go give her a shout out. Go give her all the hearts and the likes and the love, and let her know that you support her, because we all need that as authors and writers. That's like our dream and our goal, is to know that somebody out there likes what we have to say and that it matters to you guys. And I really think this story will matter to you guys. So definitely go check it out. I will leave the links down below. Head over to the blog if you want more details, if you want a little bit more insight into the book, because I'll try to break it down a little bit more. Otherwise, until next time, book lovelies, happy reading!